Hey everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Sylves from Valley Noble, and today we are looking at study apps for those of you who are studying at university. So we are an educational consultancy business, and we help international students prepare to study in Australia. And then when you get here, we help you with your academic support as well as therapeutic services. So I'm going to be your co-host. I'm Sylves.
Hi, I'm Aponi. Here at Valley Noble today.
And I'm Charlene.
And yeah, so last week we just to recap for those of you who are just joining us today, just to recap, we have been doing a 30-day live challenge, live stream challenge, and so this is day 14. We're halfway there, guys.
Yeah.
Almost halfway, and it is to help us to reach a wider audience just like yourself. So if you know any international students who are looking to come to Australia, or if they're here already, then you've come to the right place. Get them to jump in and watch our lives, and we'll be able to talk you through a whole lot of strategies and tips as an international student in Australia. So we are going to let Shah jump in there and go straight away.
Thanks, Syl. So, as Syl said, today we're focusing mostly on applications or apps that students can access for their study. So, um, I'm going to touch on a few things. So, the first thing is the online learning platforms that universities use. And so, the idea behind online learning platforms is to provide not only faculty but students um, a place where they can access course materials or assignments. And it's also a place where I know professors are able to send out communication to their students, as well as students being able to communicate with each other all in one space. And so there are a few learning management systems out there that universities use. And I'm sure, now that you have started at university, um, you have an understanding, or maybe not a full understanding, but you know which learning management system that the university you're attending uses. And so there are three main ones that most universities use. And so there's Moodle, Blackboard, which I believe UQ and QUT use, and as well as Canvas, which I believe Griffith uses. And so, myself personally, I've had experience with Blackboard and Canvas.
Yeah.
Moodle is actually one that I've just recently heard of, but they each have similar features in that they're all online, but then there are also different features as well. And so depending on what the university needs it for, I believe that's how they choose the learning management system. But again, it's best whatever is suited for the needs that the university needs or has. That's the one that they choose. And so um, I know that you know they kind of teach you more in depth of how it's used. Um, but the experiences that I've had with Canvas and Blackboard, I found them to be quite easy. So you're able to access everything online, which is nice. And then also, if you have lectures, if those are recorded, they also upload all of that in there as well. I guess just dependent on what your classes are. So the next one that I'm going to touch on is also the databases of the library. So library databases, these are pretty cool because there's just so much information like on the library databases, you have access to like everything that the university you're enrolled in has. So it's just a wealth of knowledge, you know, of academic resources. So whether they're ebooks, journals, research papers, and articles. And so these are all things that you can access while you're enrolled. And it's just to help, you know, with support and, you know, in the classes that you have to support coursework and research projects. There is also language learning apps. So for those of us who are non-native English speakers, so English is your second language, there are learning apps such as Duolingo and Babbel. So Silves is just bringing that up here on, if you can see that. So Duolingo and Babbel can help improve your language skills. So they help with you facilitating better comprehension and also communication in an English speaking environment. And so they both have websites, which I'm sure we'll also be able to link in the description below. But this is what they look like here. So you choose what language you want to learn, and then you're able to set a daily goal. So I know for Duolingo, you can choose a goal of whether you want to spend 5 minutes a day to 20 minutes a day on the language that you choose. And then with Babbel, I know it's like they do it on a weekly basis. So whether you want to spend, I think it's about an hour to 4 hours each week on the language that you choose. And so after that, you then also choose the level of difficulty. With Duolingo, it is free to access. I know with Babbel, there is a free version, but with the free version, it is very limited. But then you can also subscribe as well. On each platform, there is about 40 plus languages you can choose from, including English. For me, with Duolingo, when I was playing around with it, I chose the Hawaiian language. So I was doing some of that. But yeah, they're both very accessible. And if you are learning English for, you know, because it's not your first language, it's definitely something that you can try.
That's awesome. Hey, Shah, I just wanted to jump in and ask you a question because I know that you went and you had to learn a different language. What was that, and what kind of things did you use to help you, or what was the best way for you to learn a different language?
So the language I learned was Kiribati, because I had the opportunity to live there for almost 2 years. So the way that I learned the language was that we were taught by instructors who knew the language, but you know, at the end of the day, we kind of had to do our own thing to try and keep that up. And so for me, it was always being around people that spoke it and then trying to speak it myself, as much as I really wanted to just resort to English, which is my first language. So it was just trying to push myself to speak, whether it was something, whether it was just a small word or you know, short sentences. Like I had to kind of push myself to do that. So I found that the more that I did that, and the more that I was surrounded by people who spoke it, it just came naturally. Listening to Kiribati songs, like music,
Yes,
was very helpful. So, you know, and then writing down words that I didn't know, and then asking someone or looking it up. But also with writing, listening to the songs, and then trying to write the lyrics. And then having someone that speaks Kiribati kind of look through it and correct me if I was wrong.
awesome.
But I found music to be really helpful. I know I have some friends who are learning English, and that's usually the way that they find is easier as well, is like watching English movies and listening to English songs. So
Cool.
yeah, it's just easier because it's catchier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely something to check out, Duolingo and Babbel. And so I'm sure we can link those websites in the description below. And then also we have note-taking apps, which I think is very important, especially like while you're in class. I find that note-taking nowadays is all like digital. So it's like people use all their laptops or iPads. I find it's very rare to see people like actually jotting it down with pen and paper. But there are apps such as Evernote, OneNote, Microsoft OneNote, I believe it's called. And so these apps enable students to stay organized, whether it's taking notes from those classes or creating to-do lists and just storing important information that they can then access later. For myself personally, I was using Google Docs. So I found that to be easy for me. And it was just easy to access whenever I needed it. So I don't know if you, Sylves, had any like note-taking.
So I used OneNote. Let me just see if they've got any. I know it sort of led me here to sign in, which I didn't really want to show my sign in. But let's see. I used OneNote and Evernote. Those two I sort of used interchangeably, especially because so Evernote, they both can sync across your devices, but it was just really quick to put things in, as well as having you can sort of web clip. So you sort of things that you find on the web, you can clip it straight to both OneNote and Evernote. So I found those really useful to when I was trying to, finding a bit of research that I just needed something quick to clip it to my documents. I found both of those very useful. I think too, like when you're in those documents, you can also use your phone, which I think is really good, is use your phone and click the microphone. So for us on the iPhone, you can click your microphone at the bottom, and while you're in the app or the program, the software, you can click the microphone and just speak, and it usually translates pretty good. I think it's gotten a lot more effective these days, and it will translate what you're speaking straight into the app. So I found that, especially if you're walking or driving and you want to make a quick note, not while you're driving, but better not do that. But if you are driving or you're talking, because sometimes I would just record it while I'd put it there and just talk, because that's the way I usually process information, is just talking about it. So that's another good way. What about you, Puni? Have you used any other?
Yeah, so when I was in high school, we used OneNote because it was the easiest way for teachers to connect with their students and put all resources and information on. So it was OneNote and Teams, because I think OneNote and Teams are connected.
Yeah.
So you can link your OneNote to your Teams. So during the pandemic, Teams was really helpful because teachers were able to video call students and have that, I guess, teacher student kind of connection again, because it was kind of hard learning without a teacher to give you that the important stuff of learning. So yeah, I feel like OneNote was a really good tool in high school that helped me learn and get me where I am today.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I know OneNote is free for all users. I mean, I think there are some features that can only be available when you're subscribed to like Microsoft. Is it 365? Yeah, 300. Yeah, but also with Evernote, I think there is a free.
Yeah, there's a free.
yeah, there is a free one, but then there's also like you can subscribe to access other features as well. So most of these things are free, just nice. Like I said, we like free stuff. But it's just easier too as an international student to have access to free things that you can put into use. But yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, and I forgot to say too, like, you know, when you're like Charlene was talking about first the Blackboard canvas and what was that? Moodle, yeah. So, you know, before you get to Australia, I know you're going to be like try and have a look at what, you know, once you get your acceptance, your what uni that you're going to, try and have a look at what system they use, and there'll be tons of YouTube channels on what it looks like. So before you even get here, you can have a look what it looks like, how they set it up, just so you can familiarize yourself. So once you are here, you can say, oh, okay, I've seen how that's done, and I know that works really well, as if you can have a quick look or even look before you get here. Yeah.
So I'd like to go into some more tips on how to study more. So it's kind of like flashcard apps, but I'd also like to add fun learning games. So you know, flashcard apps, memory or just memory games in general, they can help boost your learning because you're able to put down just any pieces of information that you're not fully comfortable with. You can put them into flashcard games, and they can help you, I guess, revise you, or you know, help you remember them during like exam times or any assignment times. So we have Anki here. It's a free to download flashcard game that anyone you can get on Mac and Windows. So if you have any of those, you can download them right now and, you know, get started. We also have Quizlet, a very good app to use. I remember using it in high school. It was a fun learning tool to use and to gain that extra information that I kind of struggled with. So yeah, I'd also like to add Kahoot. So Kahoot was a big thing. Every time the teacher would say, "Oh, yep, guys, at the end of the day, we're playing Kahoot, so make sure you guys are your best behavior." But Kahoot was a really fun learning tool. You know, of course, it has the learning, but it was a fun thing, and I feel like any fun app or tool that makes you engaged is a really important one. So make sure you guys check those ones out because they're very good. We also have time management apps. So we have Todoist and Trello. So these are two apps that can help you, I guess, assist with time management, because we all know that, you know, as a uni student, it's hard to keep track of time because everything's going fast. So having that time management is a really important part of being a student. So just making sure that you have time for yourself, organizing work, you know, life, you know, as it says on the screen. But yeah, it can help you manage your study schedule, you know, assignments, any assessment that, you know, you're I guess worried about. Yeah, you can keep track of it, so you can get it on time and don't have to worry about any overdue things.
Oh, can I jump in too? So again, these are free, you know, with limited, and then you do have to have the paid version. I think nothing can beat something simple as if you're on a Mac, you've got your Apple calendar, but I really love Google Calendar. It's so easy to use. You can color coordinate different subjects. So, you know, and that's something that we are going to look at to help you to sort of schedule and organize your semester, because that's what I love doing. I love being organized, and Google Calendar has just everything you need to get organized, color coordinate your subjects, your just pretty much everything. And so we'll go into depth a little bit later on for you, but yeah, just have a look at different tools that you can use to manage your your schedule. You can even set it up to have a little notification to say like these are ready today or tomorrow. So yeah, use those free tools to help you.
Yep. So there's also online collaboration tools. So apps like Google Docs, Zoom, or Microsoft Teams. I'm pretty sure you can also use OneNote to collaborate. There's like
Yeah.
a collaboration page or something like that. Yeah. So collaboration tools. We have Zoom here on the screen as well. We also have Microsoft Teams that Silvers is getting up right now.
Yeah, let me have a look. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So I know Teams is free, Google Docs is free, and Zoom is free. Yeah, they're all free.
Yeah.
So yeah, check them out. They're good for collaborating with your peers and other students, because connecting and sharing similar pieces of information can help you learn, because you're able to when you gather pieces of information, another student might catch on from what they've learned in the class. So you can help, I guess, help each other and complete assignments and projects together. And I feel like when you have that other person, makes learning a bit more less stressful.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you have that other person, it's like, oh yeah, they understand what I'm going through. So, we can work through this together and yeah, kind of get through school.
Yeah. What about you, Shah? Have you used any of these collab tools?
Mostly Google and Zoom or Google Docs. So like when we would have group projects, we'd set up the Google Docs, make sure everyone that's in the group is on that document. And then, just adding things, editing things. And then if you needed someone to do something, you can add like a comment on the sidebar so that everyone could just access it. So especially when COVID hit, that became really useful for us because we obviously weren't allowed to go into class and stuff like that anymore. So it just made, like, I found group projects were a lot easier with Google Docs and Zoom. So
Yeah,
definitely use those. Yeah, very helpful.
I know that I've been currently using Coda, Coda Docs with my team, and it's such a great collaboration tool. It's quite a steep learning curve, so it's something that you'd want to have a look at. But there's tons of videos on how to use Coda. But I feel that it's a tool that it's very similar. It's like an Excel database, Word document all in one. It's something that I'm still learning as well, but I love it. It's gathers all data and analysis tools that you need. So yeah, I love that kind of thing. And it's very organized. It organizes all your bits and pieces, all your notes. So that's how we collaborate as well, because as you can see, we are in different areas. And it's a really great tool. Like maybe I've written something up, Shah can add something to it, and it happens in real time, which I really like. Puni can say, hey, there's something I've added here. We can jump in and do all our bits and pieces, and it's something else that you can use as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good way to keep on task. Like if like let's just say a duty manager or anyone who sets tasks for you to do, it's easily able to complete them. So if they set just say work for you to do, you can complete them, and it's easier to see what to do and where to do it. And yeah, it's a good app to use.
Yeah, so we will actually I'll help you to go through your your schedules, and that's part of the work that we do is helping in that space. But yeah, those are some really great tools that we can use.
And the last point that I want to go through is plagiarism checkers. So we all know the struggle and the urge to just copy and paste, or you see something, or look, I don't have to do anything, and then you just copy and paste. We all know how you feel, because that's how I felt in high school. I was like, I would be struggling in my assignments, and all I'd want to do is just copy and paste, or I'd see like a whole assignment and I just want to copy and paste, but that's not the right thing to do. And
No, don't do it.
and even if it's just like a small piece of information that you use, plagiarism check is a good way to make sure that you're not cheating, because you don't want to get caught at school, because it's a really big downfall on your grades. But yeah, we have here Turnitin and Grammarly. So I have used Turnitin. That's the main source of submissions for our assignments that I used in high school. And it's a good app to use. It's really easily accessible. All you have to do is just log in, and if there's assignment that is due, you're able to just click into it and then upload the assignment onto the website. And Grammarly, we also I've personally used this. I have the app, I think, on the web. You can get like on the web, and it's good for even just checking your grammar. Like I'll be writing a text or anything like that, and the Grammarly will come up, and then it'll just change my text and make it look better, make it sound better. But yeah, it's a good app to use to check your plagiarism, make sure you're not cheating or anything like that, or copying someone else's work, because that's not a good thing to do. So
yeah, so definitely we want to ensure that you understand plagiarism is not good, and there's so many good tools that you can use, but we encourage you to do your checks. You can use Grammarly. I know there's some people that would be like, oh, that's still having someone else's work to do it for you, but it is a good tool. It helps you with your grammar. What about you, Shah? Have you had any other tools that you can?
We only use Turnitin.
Yeah, we did too.
That was a huge one. Yeah, just don't copy and paste.
Don't do it.
Write out your ideas and use whatever it is. Use that stuff to back it up as evidence. So
yes. Yeah. And like taking a tip from somebody who's marked exam papers and assessments. If you are an English student, and so this will be your professors, your lecturers, if you are a student from an English as a second language, and they know that you're from an English as a second language, they know. So, and you can tell when somebody has written, they will know. And so just don't do it, please. I know a lot of people will be thinking about ChatGPT, and that is probably a whole bigger beast that we can go into at another later date. But it's a great tool for ideas and thoughts. But again, Turnitin, they are using AI Turnitin to sort of help in that space. So just, big thing, just don't do it. Awesome. So we've gotten to my area. I'm going to pretty much whiz through these different things that we use. So maths and science is definitely not my good points. So there are great apps and tools that you can use. So we've got here Wolfgram Alpha. I've had a look for, even some of the calculations that I had to use, especially in stats and research. And this is a great tool for a lot of different calculations, both scientific and mathematical. And you can just get some ideas in here. But the best thing is go to, which is my next point, is go to the Student Learning Centre. I know that we had a Student Learning Centre, and they have people in there that understand your background, whether it's the maths or the science. For me, there are English. There's just everyone that has like whatever you're looking for, your student learning center. So I think that's something that is really important to go check out. Do you have any experience with the student learning center, Shah? They help me times.
I'm trying to think back. I don't think I recall like ever using it. I knew it was there, but I don't think I ever used it.
Yeah, so I would encourage you to go and check out the Student Learning Centre. They have some people there, and sometimes it is just really talking it out, so helping you structure whatever it is that you're learning. So go check those out at your school. So we also have, here is another, again, scientific and mathematical calculations and help. But this one you have to be subscribed through your school. So if your school does this, go jump in and use that wisely. Now, study groups and online forums. So we are a study and academic support team as well here, as well as therapy. So study and online groups and forums that are able to help you. I know there's heaps in different areas. So trying to find those different groups that you could use. YouTube has they've got tons of information. If you don't know how to use things, YouTube and even TikTok has a lot of good, people that can give you some really good tips about how to do things. So go and search that out, especially if you're finding it difficult in the middle of the night, which always, doesn't it? It always happens when you need some help. It's in the middle of the night. But YouTube is, you can get some great information on YouTube. Just remember to fact check it. Are they, are they fraud? Are they legit? So just make sure you check that out. Podcasts as well are a really great source of information that you can use. We will be doing a Study in Oz podcast, so be on awake for that one. And then academic writing resources. So these are for online learning centers. So much similar to the ones that you have at your uni, but they're online. So go have a look and check those out. I think it's very specific to the area that you're studying, but they're out there and you can find a whole lot of information. And I think we might have blown you guys' mind with all this info.
Information overload.
That's quite a lot of information. Do you guys have any other things to jump in there with?
No, I just think there's just a lot of resources that we can use. So don't feel like too stuck or feel too overwhelmed, because we live in a day and age where we have access to all these things. And so today may have been an overload of information, but we'll detail everything that we've spoken about just in the description below. And also you can always come back and I remember they spoke about this, and then just go back to the part that we spoke about it, and that we you have that. So but that's just some ideas for you guys to use for study.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us again. And tomorrow we are going to be doing a little bit of a backtrack, a reintroduction of who we are as a team. So we'll be doing Mental Monday tomorrow, but that's about it, guys?
Yeah, that's everything.
Yeah. And so don't forget to drop a line in the comments.
Yep.
Say hi. Thanks for those who've been saying hi and dropping in and seeing us. But if there's any questions that you have or anything any topics that you'd like us to discuss and go over, yeah, definitely drop those in the comments. But it's Sunday, guys, our last day of rest before we go back tomorrow. And, you know, have a good rest because it's your second week next week, tomorrow. So I hope you're doing well after that big week. But that's it for me. Thanks for coming.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Take it easy. Bye.
See ya.